I really did like Blade's ideas that he made to the trains. You know, the way his mind ticked and worked. You know.
I've never been caught for painting trains. Never went to jail for it. And I painted over 5,000 cars. I think Comet was caught once. Vam, Crotchy, and Death were never caught for painting trains. These are all people painting thousands and thousands of pieces. Never went to jail. Like all of those, where you say they're all tags, they're single hits, because when I started writing, there were no masterpieces before they called them pieces. So you would have like one can of paint, you go to Baychester Layup, which is right out the window there, and you would put your name on each 10 cars, both sides, so it was a single hit because you were going hitting, and that was the extent of it. Bombing, they came up with the different names to go with what you were doing years later, but the masterpieces came along like in '72. It just developed, just taking the smaller and making it bigger with a GIF foam. You're just taking your regular single hit and just making it taller and wider, and then you would put some trim around it. I'm like, I'll just put stars in the center, and that was the beginning of part of masterpieces. That's the first masterpiece I ever did on a subway train in 1972. Red with white stars, GIF foam outline. In that era when we were bombing in the early 70s, the Vietnam War is going on. You could be bombing up on Berkeley up in the old neighborhood, got a transistor radio about this big, just listening to the music like Steppenwolf, you know, music, Sly and the Family Stone, and Nixon's voice would come over the radio 3 o'clock in the morning that we just invaded into some other country. And we'd all freak out because we know that we're next. I don't remember anything in '69, I remember '70. You know, even though I wasn't actually up on the trains, but that's when I remember really seeing it. You know, I'll go down this line of these names of all the people that just rule the trains. When I think of the kings of train lines, I think of Moses, Piper, Cliff, Eddie 181, Junior 161 is when I think of Broadway. Taboo 1, Take 5, that's the real king of the 6th line. Kindu, Bannet, Ski 168, Purple Haze 168. For the 2s and the 5s, it would be the original Crazy 5 members. Ajax and Comet also, because they came after. I mean, Super Cool 223. I mean, that guy's name was every place you could ever imagine from 70 through 74 of 99% singlets. You couldn't go anywhere in the city, up to Connecticut, out to Rockaway, get on a boat, you know, and goes, and Super Cool 223. Those are the kings, the real fathers of graffiti, like Stay High 149. These are people that are all 50 years old. Staff 161, Phase 2, obviously. The Man 550, there's a name. JJS 225, the name on the window there. You know, I mean, those people were amazing. You know, Hondo 1, who did the first whole car top to bottom in Red Devil Pastel Yellow. And they didn't know how to clean the windows of the train for I think like 8 months to a year. Crotchy and Rock did the first whole car, 2-man, top to bottom ever. Dead Leg 161 did the one with Priest. And there's the Super Sex floater. That was incredible. So when you saw this go by, like everybody on the train station would stop. Like people going to work, everybody would just be like, what the fuck is that? I mean, you got the girl graffiti writers. You had Z73, right? Poonie 167, Barbara, Eva 62, Charmin 65, Michelle 62. You had all these girl writers that were out there just bombing on their own. You know, these are the original people of graph that are all doing the first things. By the time all those other writers came along in Style Wars, everything was already established. You had your piece, your 3D, your cloud, your designs, your character. That's like before people knew how to make a real cloud, you just drew a box around your name and filled it in. Red Devil Green, Red Devil Orange, probably all Red Devil. Nobody wanted to get noticed from the beginning era. You know, you didn't look at it as like more fame and stuff like that. You just wanted to paint your trains, and that was it. You didn't think about like we're gonna be on film, because that wasn't why you started in the first place. You just out there just to be crazy and have fun and meet girls and get high. That was basically the whole concept of it. In the beginning of writing from 70 through 79, people didn't write over each other. It's like what's the point? You know, you're all out there trying to get up and see who can bomb the most. And when people did have a problem, you'd hot 110 over some other guy until he would stop. Troubles with other writers, you'd run across somebody that, let's say, you wrote over part of their piece or you touched something, and sooner or later you'd meet like by some high school over a basketball game or whatever, and like 2 people would stand there and just like punch it out, and whoever was standing up at the end is the winner. And within a week later, or maybe a month later, you could be in the same yard, and I'm like, I need some of your Fed Purple, and I could lend you some School Bus Yellow for your cloud. And it was just done.